I'm Casey Wilson, one of your co-hosts of the Do or Do Not podcast, and this is
Brad Erie, as always.
So, I hope everybody enjoyed our May the 4th Be With You podcast yesterday.
Or the 5 of you who watched.
10.
10.
So, we really enjoyed doing that. We'll probably do some themed stuff in the future, too, on different days for different things. Obviously, we both like watching Star Wars and reading about Star Wars. At least one of us does, so that was fun. But today we're not going to talk at all about Star Wars. So we're going to start off with some fitness.
My favorite.
So Brad had some ideas yesterday, and so about things that he would like me to talk about, and probably for him to chime in with, because that's kind of what we do.
Take notes.
You'll probably interrupt me with some inane Jennifer Connelly comment halfway through, or
you love it,
which it amuses me. All right, so we talked about goal setting. We've talked about how to get started in a program. Maybe you think about what type of working out should I do. So there's so many different ways to work out. There's cardiovascular training, there's weight training, there's yoga, there's runners, there's HIIT training or CrossFit style training, there's bodybuilding. There's a lot of different ways to train. So, and they come up with variations. Most of them are just variations on old topics, but there's many different ways to work out. So over the years, been doing this for a long time. I've seen stuff renamed, same exercises, just renamed, and then stuff come out. Like we were doing HIIT training back when I first started as a trainer. I was more into before I became a trainer, I was more into bodybuilding and just lifting heavy weights and doing Olympic lifts and those type of things.
Same.
Yep, Brad. But then they came out with CrossFit, and then it became a really big fad, but it was mostly just HIIT training that was stylized, but it was functional movement. So, and I like it. I think, when they first started, they went too overboard, and there's a lot of injuries and stuff, and they weren't very good at onboarding people, but I think they fixed those issues. So something I would recommend is CrossFit's not a bad form to get into. Great functional training. There's yoga. There's good old-fashioned, more scientific-based weight training, lifting to strengthen your body, bodybuilding. There's Olympic lifts, powerlifting, yoga, Pilates, jazzercise, water aerobics. There's all these big, huge cornucopia. I used the word twice now in podcasts.
Wow.
Cornucopia of exercises out there.
Woo!
It's because we're old and we know these words.
Yeah.
We don't know those words anymore, so I'm trying to reintroduce them. We're trying to make them hip again. Cornucopia.
I'm flabbergasted.
So there's so much stuff out there to do. So what's best for you? What should you do? And so I'll just give you some of my insights, being a longtime trainer and training lots of different people, lots of different body types, lots of ability, huge ranges in age from 8 to 9 years old to 88 years old. Different replacement surgeries, heart surgeries, different injuries. People come in healthy and just wanting to get strong. Most people that walk in my door want to lose weight and get healthy, get strong, but not they're not interested in weight training. And I'm like, well, you have to be interested in weight training because that is hugely important. Doesn't mean you got to lift crazy weights, but it means you got to stimulate the muscle growth in your body and get that sedentary use of your muscle, because your muscles go weak when you don't use them. So when you're young, you hit about 35 to 37. Most of the studies show you start heading down as your chemical levels in your body, your hormonal levels start changing down, heading downwards. So that's when your body starts weakening and you start adding a little bit of fat every year and losing a little bit of muscle if you're not doing anything at all. Let's say you're eating pretty healthy, but you're just not working out at all, or maybe you go for a walk in the evening. You'll start losing muscle mass, you'll start gaining fat at a slow rate, and then you figure by the time you're in your mid-40s and upper 40s, you start going, hey, what's this? I don't know what this is, or why is this thing underneath shaking crazy every time I wave, the wave. You start seeing those things and you go, when did this happen? And it gradually happened over time because you weren't doing anything to prevent it. So when people come in and they go, I want to do that, they give me their goals, and I can train anybody for any goal. The only thing I really don't train is I don't train people to do. I had experience a few times where I was helping people get ready for. I don't do bodybuilding shows myself, and I never, would. I like putting muscle on and losing weight sometimes and dialing things in, but I don't. I literally, there's a few people, and I just go, here's their information. Call them. They prepare people for bodybuilding shows and that thing. But everything else, I do a lot of sports performance training. I do a lot of training for people that go, I want to put on a lot of muscle. I want to get, they go from being like this guy and still like this guy with like no
stretching.
muscle. He has this on
little...
today because he doesn't want to show off his skinny little
I
arms.
think they've seen enough of the gun show.
That's true. So if you come in and you start giving me your goals, then I'm going to tailor a workout and a program that's best for you. And it may be different than what every other client that I'm doing, or maybe this client, this hour is one thing, this client's another. So it's very specific. And that's what trainers do in general is we're trying to tailor I'll qualify that. So what good trainers do is they can adjust to every person, different person's goals, their ability levels, their injury levels, their experience levels. And you can train that person to get to where they want to be at goal wise. So that's why goal setting, we talked about that several episodes ago. It's very important. So when you come in and go, what exercise I want to do? So let's say you're sitting at home and you're deciding, what do I want to do? Think about your goals. Most people, their goals are to lose some weight, gain some muscle, get healthier. That's the most common thing I hear is I want to lose weight. I want to get healthy. I want to look good in my tank tops. I want to live a quality life. As I get older, I don't want to be on a bunch of medications. I hear that often too, which is my favorite thing. It's the focus of my business is getting people healthy. It's not bodybuilding competitions. It's
we got
how you look in a bikini. Those are byproducts. If you lose weight and get stronger, you're going to look good in clothing and bikinis and those things. So it's definitely a byproduct, but I focus a lot on getting people healthy. So if you're a beginner, let's say you've never worked out and you never played sports growing up, that's a big thing. Is I noticed that people who've played sports, who've had some type of athletic training, they had to do maybe strength and conditioning for a sport in high school or college, and then they haven't done anything for years and come in. They usually understand the basic movements. They may not be good at them and need tweaked and adjusted quite a bit, but at least they know what suffering and pain is. Because working out.
Well, I'm married, so I know what suffering and pain is.
There you go.
That just comes with the territory.
So anyone who's married, they also understand suffering and pain. But those people that understand what working out is, that there's a pain, or they played sports and they went through those type of, rigorous practices getting ready for your sport, they usually do better. If you come in and you never did any sports, and I have that happen quite a bit, and you never were athletic, but now you've gained weight, you don't like how you're looking, you want to get fit, you want to get healthy, then I have to upload those people differently than others. So what exercise is best for you? So for flexibility, there's great stretching programs out there, but if you generally just go, I really want to get more flexible, and that's your primary goal, or I just want to feel better and healthier, and I feel stiff all the time and sore, we do stretching in here, but I recommend people go do yoga classes. Really be focused on yoga. Yoga is great. There's different forms and types of yoga. I'm not going to get into them all, but
thank you.
I prefer hot yoga. I like just going and doing a regular yoga in a hot class. There's vinyasa flow. There's a bunch of different types of yoga.
Any class with me is a hot yoga. I'm just going to throw that in there.
Like the Brad Pitt yoga.
That's right. That was my goal.
Yeah.
I think I've reached it.
I never even thought about it, but the reason why you like Brad Pitt so much is because your name's Brad.
That's right.
I was wondering why you always focused on Brad Pitt all the time.
I've been told we look a lot alike.
Yeah. Do you have like a poster up in your
Legends of the Falls? Maybe not.
That was a great movie.
Yeah.
Not to get sidetracked. Like if you're looking for flexibility and you're just wanting to feel like you want to loosen your body up and you're pretty happy with your weight levels and stuff, and you don't want to really get strong or be any stronger, yoga is a great alternative. Pilates is great. You're adding a little bit of resistance training in with stretching movements and elongation of muscle movements, and it's strength training too. Resistance bands, those things it's like a mild type of, well, let's be honest. It's not necessarily mild. Pilates can make you sore. If I go do Pilates right now, I'll get sore the next day. I'll recover pretty quickly, but I don't do Pilates on a regular basis. But if I go get on a reformer with a Pilates instructor who's pushing me and they know that I went and did it and they knew I was a trainer. And so they wanted to prove a point, it's like, I was like, oh, I want to try it out. I want to see what it is. I went and tried it. I was sore for several days afterwards. It was like doing a heavy weight training workout, but it was because my body wasn't used to it. If I
and we're old.
Well, I was a little younger then. I was 49, 44, 45 when I went through.
You were a baby.
Yeah. I just like to try stuff out sometimes. I'd never really done Pilates, and I met somebody at the Chamber of Commerce event who did Pilates. And so I all right, I'll come try it out. So I did it like 3 sessions with her. The next time I went in, it was still rigorous. It was a hard workout. And I think she kind of understood that I could handle it. But after the first one, I think she was trying to kill me. But then after I went back in a second time, and I didn't get nearly as sore. But Pilates is great. Yoga is great for those things. And if you're training for a marathon, you're going to have to run. If you're training just to get healthy and fit, you want to do a combination of cardiovascular exercise and weight training, along with some stretching. I usually try to run everybody through some active stretching, which are basically a movement-based stretching. Unless somebody comes in and they're really deficient areas, let's say you can barely touch your knees, we're going to be doing some stretching because you've got problems. And so we're going to work on stretching. We'll do more static stretching and active stretching. But in general, most people need a combination of cardiovascular training and weight training.
So I have a question.
In a functional range.
Is it better to do the cardio first? Let's say you're doing 30 minutes of hard cardio and like 30 minutes or 40 minutes of like strength training. Which do you do first, or does it matter?
It doesn't matter that much. For me, I tell people, like, okay, so if your focus is weight loss,
yeah,
I'm going to have you probably doing a little bit more cardio than weight training.
Okay.
I'm going to have you do weight training to maintain muscle and to get slowly build up your strength.
Yeah.
But then we'll eventually, once you start dropping the weight, it's everybody's different in how they do and what their age and stuff is. But if somebody's really focused on losing weight, we're probably going to do more cardiovascular, calisthenic based stuff, trying to get them healthier. Because let's say you come in and you have no VO2 max, meaning you have no available energy to work out.
Yeah.
Like muscles don't work if you don't have any oxygen to give them. It's like you start lifting weights and you're really out of shape.
Makes sense. Yep.
You're not going to be able to lift very hard. So you got to have a combination of both. So we're talking different, whatever the ability level of the person who walks in the door is, I'm going to judge that off. Now, the other thing I would recommend, like if you have that issue, is what do you like the best?
Lifting weights.
All right. So do cardio first, because what's the chances if you get done lifting weights and you go, I don't really feel like doing cardio.
That's true. Okay.
So that's one recommendation.
Good point.
Doing cardio, I like to have people do cardio first because it'll also get your body warmed up. It gets your heart rate up, gets the blood flowing in your body, and you're less likely to injure yourself. So usually cardio is first as far as I go. But let's say you're going into the gym on your own and you know you need to do weight training, a little bit of weight training, a little bit of cardio training, a combination of both.
Yeah.
Do the one that you dislike first.
Okay.
So if you're a woman and you go in and you go, I hate lifting weights with my upper body. Lift weights with your upper body first. Whatever routine you have going, whatever, program you're doing, do that first and then go do the cardio, which you like doing. So that would be my recommendation on that.
Great idea.
The main thing you want to be doing is, remember, you're not going to like come in and go, oh, well, I'm just going to do cardio. If you just do cardio, you're going to lose muscle along with fat at a much higher rate. So let's say your goal is, to not jump around from one person to another. Let's take an average person. So let's take a woman comes in who's 43 years old. She's 60 pounds overweight, hasn't done one single exercise in 6 years. And back then, before she had kids, so she had a couple kids in this period of time. She's gained a lot of weight. She hasn't exercised. She's really unhealthy. The doctor told her she needed to start working out. She starts looking for trainers. She calls me and comes in. So this person is at the base level. They're at the basement. They get winded walking laps in here. So we're going to be working on cardiovascular fitness first. Where we do weight training too, yes, but it's going to be a small part at the end of the workout. I'm not going to take them in and put them through a full. Number one, they won't come back the next day. Or the next time they have a training session, because they won't be able to move if I take them through. So it's a very mild. Usually, what I do is I have them focus on cardio and stretching, and then we'll do maybe 3 exercises: a core, a leg, and an upper body exercise.
And let's call this woman Chad.
Let's call her Bradgelina.
Okay, Bradgelina, because I totally.
So
not me.
Yeah, I mean, Brad came in and did a very similar thing. He had some knee issues that we had to focus on.
I had a couple kids.
That's true, and he had a lot of weight to lose.
4-second plank.
Yes. So all right, good. Let's use you instead. All right. I was trying to be nice and not use you.
But we knew this woman was really me.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he has boobs and stuff too. So
well, you know what? Chest day.
Well, and after yesterday in that quiz, I think maybe you might have a vagina too. So I don't know.
That's a whole other podcast. Okay.
All right. So let's say Brad comes in and he is completely out of shape, and he needs to lose
I was.
70, 80 pounds.
Yes. My goal, I told you, was to lose 30 pounds. I said I was like 290 and I wanted to get to like 260, 250. And you're like, all right.
I go, that's a good beginning goal.
And look,
that's
like
what I
Brad
tell him.
Pitt.
I go, Brad, that's a good beginning goal. Ultimately, though, at your height and everything, you should probably be down around 220, 225.
Yeah.
That's I would guess that's exactly what I said to you.
Yeah.
You know, I don't remember exactly, but that would be what I'd say if you walked in the door in that situation. So, but a good ultimate goal is, hey, let's lose 30 pounds. You lose 30 pounds, you're going to feel a whole lot better.
Yeah.
So I had Brad start off doing cardio, which he suffered horribly at doing cardio.
Oh my gosh. The Stairmaster.
Yeah. So just like
just over there for people
who
are watching and not listening.
Yeah. So the Stairmaster, the elliptical, an air bike, running, the rower, there's all different cardio. And I like to rotate them all through because it gets boring to do one thing over and over again. So usually we'll do like 5-minute sets, 7-minute sets, 10-minute sets, depending on the person's ability level and what they're doing. Sometimes when they first come in, they're not capable of doing the Stairmaster. I don't even know. Did you do the Stairmaster from the? Did I have you doing it from the start?
Level 3. Because I had like one knee and half an ab.
That's the beginning level is level 3 usually, and I drop it down for really out of shape people down to level 2.
Because you don't remember, but when I came in, I had like one normal looking knee, and then one knee that had like zero muscle, the one that was operated on.
You're like, the leg, the quad was atrophied.
You're looking like that's not good.
So when Brad came in, we weren't going to be sitting there having him doing power squats and deadlifts and clean and jerks and anything like that. So we were just trying to build up his lower body, build up that leg, but also build up his cardiovascular fitness, have him burning calories, and have him stimulating muscle. So that was the whole goal: is cardio, a little bit of weight training. We did stretching. We still do active stretching where we just try to get you moving and where you can reach down, touch your toes, do good mornings, alternating toe touches.
You did a lot of
grabs,
balance stuff.
You did a lot of balance stuff
because go back in.
Because Brad he just wanted to have one foot out like this. So you got straight and then the bad knee was out. So we were trying to work on getting them both even and straight. So we did a lot of like balancing type stuff.
And for the people who are just listening, Matt, talking to you on the podcast, I had like my feet were making like a 90-degree angle.
Yeah, it was not good.
One was pointing out front, the other was kind of pointing out sideways.
But after all that, what does it do now?
I have 2 solid knees.
Yeah. No, it took a while.
It took a long time, but we got there.
Yeah. So every person's different, but in Brad's situation and a lot of people's situation come to my door, I'm going to have them do a combination of cardiovascular training, weight training, stretching, and that's the most important thing out of all these different modalities. Orange Theory Fitness, it's like a HIIT style training. It's like a circuit type training where you go one to another to another to another. It's great, and if you're in really good shape, it's even better because you can go in and actually complete them. A lot of people will go in. I have people that have come in here and they went to CrossFit gyms, which I'm a fan of CrossFit. I think CrossFit's great.
Yeah.
They go to Orange Theory. They go to these things that are higher intensity, and they really struggle and they get demotivated. They see other people doing it and they can't. And there's a mindset that tells that there's certain people like myself, which goes, I just got to work harder. I got to put more effort in. I got to show up every day and put more work in. And there's some people that go, that's too hard. I'm not going to do that. But does that person deserve to be out of shape and not get healthy? No.
Yes.
No.
Oh, sorry. No.
Because not everybody has that mindset. And so my job as a trainer is not to sit there and bring somebody in and completely torture them with stuff that they're not capable of doing and never let them feel like they can ever achieve something. It's to slowly build them up to the point that they can do stuff. So that's that we talked about uploading people or
to the matrix.
Just getting somebody into the program and getting them started. So it's very important to think about what your goals are and then look for a workout program that gets you there. I will tell you to go get a trainer every time. A good trainer every time, because there's some trainers out there that are complete shit. They're lazy, who don't really pay attention. They have everybody do the same things over and over again. That's not a good trainer. And there's a lot of gym trainers out there that are very lazy. They just have people go get on this machine. Here's how you do it. And then they don't really keep track of what you're doing and they don't really watch for your progression. So you got to be really careful. Maybe we do a whole podcast on how to pick a trainer.
Yeah, I'm still looking for one.
You want someone who cares about their job, who's very professional, who really cares. I care about each one of my clients because number one, I want them to succeed because I want them to keep paying me money. It's my business. If you don't think that I'm working for you, you're going to go get somebody else. It's all professionals. It's like if you get a real estate agent or a lawyer and they seem half-ass what they're doing, you're going to go get somebody else. You got to be, if you're a professional, you really care about what you're doing. And as a trainer, you build interpersonal relationships. I'm doing a podcast with one of my clients. I didn't know him before he walked in the door. We become good friends.
I thought you were a jerk.
I won't go anywhere besides the gym with him.
Yeah,
but we're still good friends.
I'm working on it, people. He doesn't know this yet.
We're gonna go see some movies.
Yes, he doesn't know this yet, but I'm sneaking into his life. I'm slowly trying to convert him to be my best friend.
It's like a disease.
I am. I'm like a fungus that's slowly creeping in his dark soul.
But a good trainer is probably the best way to get going.
Yeah.
Also, like there's group fitness stuff that's great. I do small group training, and if you have in that environment, I'm able to work with people and get them doing the right things because I don't have a bunch of people in a group class. If you have 20 people in a class, it gets to be a little cumbersome to get somebody in there and doing the right things, especially if you have multiple new people coming in on a regular basis. But it can be done. Yoga is great for going and getting your body warmed up and moving, but it's not going to get you all the way where you need to go. Yoga people, Pilates people, bodybuilding people that are really focused mostly only on weight training, they're like, this is all you have to do. I would say stuff like, the reason I'm talking about these things is think about doing cardio, stretching, doing weight training. It's cross training. CrossFit, I would say, is something that is very good if you go in there and you make sure you're not doing stuff that you shouldn't be doing.
If you have good form and you're fit enough for it.
Yeah, or they have really good instructors in there that are knowing how to bring new people in. That's great. Trainers at gyms, private gyms like mine, and especially people who have been doing it as long as I do, we know how to get people in and get them working out, and we're eventually going to get you to your goal. And it's a marathon. How long did it take you to gain all the weight and get out of shape?
Well, first of all, it was wonderful getting out of shape.
But how long?
Years.
Okay.
Years.
So should it take you 1 month to all of a sudden get in shape?
Well, I keep telling you, I gave you 6 weeks to make me look like Brad Pitt.
But you got to be realistic with it. So it's a marathon, not a sprint. So you're going to come in and it's going to take us a while to get that 70, 80 pounds off you. And also I want to do it without injuring somebody.
Yeah.
A lot of these things that are higher intensity, when somebody comes in, they get injured. And guess what? If you mess your knee up, if you hurt your shoulder, if you throw your back out, you're not showing up to do the next workout. You've got to build the body up. Well, I'm saying that if you get in shape, you can't hurt yourself. No, you can still hurt yourself. But when you're really looking at what kind of workouts do you want to do, you want to start off moderate, or low, depending on what your fitness level is. A lot of people come in and they're low. There's a lot of sedentary. We'll do a whole podcast. I actually started doing research on a whole podcast about obesity in the United States and the issues with it and how bad it is. But most people come in here and they're obese.
No longer obese. I've actually gotten to the
and I'm not talking about BMI. BMI is bullshit. But I'm talking about like just being obese, like on a body fat percentage scale and stuff. So most people come in here, they're obese. That doesn't mean they're walking around and they need a scooter to go around. We're talking just like obese, which is just functionally overweight. Meaning you can walk around, you can live life. You're not living life to the fullest, but you're living life. So I'm gonna do a whole podcast on that. But most people that come in are at a low level. They're down here, and we need to get them up to the moderate. Some people come in and they're at a moderate level. Very rarely do I have people come in that are at expert level.
I came in and I was like down.
The young athletes I train for sports performance sometimes come in at a high level. They're already in good shape.
I wouldn't know.
And I'm working on explosiveness or building their body up a little bit to absorb more punishment.
That's not a world I'm familiar with.
Yeah, so I do that type of training. They usually come in and it's a higher level, and it's different for me too because it's more fun. I won't say all my clients are great, but when I get to really like take a really good athlete, especially young, like 15, 16-year-old athlete.
I'm waiting for my kids to come in and let you rock them.
It's like fun for me because my average client is someone who's gotten out of shape and I'm getting them in shape. And that's what the primary focus of my business is. But it is fun to sometimes get people I can just kick the crap out of and just like, they can do this, they can do that, they can do that. It's a lot of fun. So I enjoy doing that too. But in general, most people that are going to watch this podcast or who are going to hear this advice, what should I do? What kind of workout should I do? You should do something that combines cardiovascular training. If your doctor tells you to start walking, that's a doctor who's lazy. They should be like giving you some exercises. They should here's my handout of this many exercises you do, or these stretches you should do. Like if you're just saying, go walk and eat better. Well, that's great. You can lose weight doing that. If you just start, diet's going to be the big part of losing weight.
That's not maintainable. The thing that I've always given you credit for with me losing the weight was you did it in a way that's maintainable. like not losing
Yes.
60 pounds a month or whatever, but
Yeah.
doing it in a way that once the weight is off, I can keep it off.
I have a real issue. Like, I think we have such an obesity problem in the United States, but there's a lot of stuff that want you to just eat 500 calories a day or 900 calories a day. And it's just not.
I tried that.
Is this something? Yes. And most people try it and they fail. And then
Yeah.
there's a few that succeed and then they act like everybody does. And it's really not true because it's very hard for somebody to do that type of thing. The people that do that are the people that are just, their life is falling apart. Their doctor told them they're going to die pretty soon. Those are, and nothing else has worked.
Yeah.
I had so many people come in here who have tried all that stuff and it doesn't work. And it's about lifestyle change. I'll say it again and again and again. It has to be something that fits into your lifestyle. If you work 15 hours a day, me telling you to cook, meals and doing those things, probably not going to be effective. So then I'm going to have to tailor a nutritional program according to your lifestyle. You got to eat all the time. You order DoorDash all the time. Well, here's what you should order. I don't want you ordering from this restaurant like you like to do. I want you to order this, or I want you to order that. Or when you go to the restaurant, I want you to get this, this, and this. That's what I'm going to do to that person because they're not going to be cooking, food prepping, doing those things. The people that can do that, I want them to do that because that's a great way to get in the habit of and a lifestyle of eating healthy and being prepared. But it has to be about lifestyle change. So to wrap it up, if you're looking to start a new program, you want something that includes cardiovascular training, stretching, some type of stretching, weight training. Weight training is very important. When people tell you weight training is important, they're full of shit. So if your doctor tells you don't need to lift weights, they're full of shit.
They screw you and your MD.
Okay, maybe they're not full of shit, but they're uneducated on what it is to stay healthy. They're focused on working on illness, fixing illnesses, not on wellness care. So if you keep muscle on, I was walking behind an old guy. He probably was maybe 5 years older than me. And I call him an old guy because I can do almost everything I could do when I was younger, maybe a lighter weights than I do now, but they're walking with a shuffle. Oh, I hurt my back. Well, why'd you hurt your back? Well, why didn't you fix it then? Why are you doing it? Like, you could just tell, I go watch, look at his hips. He had no muscle in his lower body.
Did you just push him out of the way and kick sand at him? Like, get out of my way,
I knew that. No, he was just, and I was sitting there going, this guy's only a number of years older than me.
I know. Isn't that scary?
And I'm like, he's shuffling along. And I'm just like, I know there's injuries, there's car wrecks, and I've been through a car wreck myself, that messed my back up. I have a bulging disc in my lower back and it gives me problems sometimes.
He calls it Brad. He named this bulging disc Brad.
No, that's the pain in my ass.
Oh, that's right.
This is in the lower back.
Right. That's your firstborn kid.
Yeah. So anyway,
in summation,
those are weight training is hugely important. So if your doctor tells you not to do weight training, they're doing you a disservice. And it's not even that they just don't want to put the effort in to tell because most people go and do weight training and then they go to the gym and they try to do it themselves. They hurt themselves. If you want to do weight training, get a trainer, get somebody who knows what they're doing. If you have a buddy that likes to work out, that doesn't mean that they know what they're doing. So I've been working out for 20 years. You know how many people in the gym think that they're experts at working out? And I'm sitting there, I walk in and I could correct their form in 3 different ways, because their biomechanics are bad, or they're lifting way too heavy weights. They're not able to handle the weight to focus on the muscle group that they're trying to focus on. But so they're hunched over and leaning all their body weight into exercises. So that doesn't necessarily mean your buddy. Your buddy's probably going to help you more than you doing it by yourself. They're going to get you going, but sometimes that buddy's going to hurt you because they want you to, and then you want to keep up with your buddy, at the gym. So just maybe get a professional for a while that's going to get you knowing how to learn how to do stuff. Brad, have I taught you how to do a lot of exercises?
Yes, sir.
Do them the right way?
Most of the time.
Correct your bad form on them.
Keep your head up, chin up.
Yeah.
Straighten the back.
Shoulders back. Bend your knees a little bit.
Still have nightmares about you yelling at me.
Yeah.
Saying that.
So those are your main things you want to focus on, and all these things, yoga, Pilates, CrossFit, going to Orange Theory, doing HIIT training, going to the gym and getting a trainer, going to the gym and not getting a trainer, going to the gym and doing group classes. All these things are better than sitting on your ass. So get off your ass and do something. True. But when you're picking what you're going to do, you want that combination: cardio, weight training, flexibility, because those are what's going to get you through the day. Bottom line.
All right, so that was a lot of fitness talk. We need to close this out with something geeky. Give me your 5-minute summation of Ant-Man because you finally saw it. No, I saw it like the opening week because I'm a true.
I just saw
I'm
it a few days
fan.
ago. So
let's hear it.
I don't know if I got 5 minutes to talk about it. It wasn't that big of a deal.
Come on.
It wasn't like Star Wars movie or something.
Oh.
But I heard a lot of criticism of the movie when it came out. And so I was just, and that may have caused me not to go see it at the theater. I just heard so much criticism. I don't know why I ever listened to those idiots. But, plus I'm not one of those people that go, oh, back in the comic book, they did this and they screwed this. And it's like, I don't give a crap about that, except for when it comes to Star Wars and Kathleen Kennedy screwing stuff up. So I watched it and I really enjoyed it. My son and I watched it. I just bought it or rented it on Amazon. Watched it. I could have waited till May when it comes out on Disney Plus, but I was like, all right, I want to see it because Guardians of the Galaxy is coming out and I want to see that. So I thought I thought the story probably could have been better. They jumped right into it so fast. Yeah. They could have developed their current life a little bit more, maybe another whole scene of them being their modern day life. They seemed to jump right into getting sucked into the quantum realm too quickly. Yeah. That was one of the major critiques that I had on it. I liked the quantum realm. It was awesome. I liked all the different creatures, all the different, colors. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Guardians, like vibrant colors. And, so I like Michelle Pfeiffer. I liked her. She
ranks high on a Jennifer Connelly scale.
She's pretty hot for an old woman. She's older though, but she looks good. Yeah. Like when she was hot. When I was a teenager, she was like in her upper 20s or something. She was. I remember she was
Jennifer Connelly
when she was the teacher. When she was the teacher.
Oh yeah.
And what's that movie? Coolio did the song.
Old People.
Oh, what was that movie?
Always forgetting. Look,
Gangster's Paradise was the song.
You're forgetting her Catwoman.
She was hot as Catwoman too.
Batman.
But I thought.
Come on.
I thought when she was the teacher
we digress.
In that movie, I was like, why can't that be my teacher? You know what I mean? I'd show up to class eager every day. I'd be like, yes,
front row.
She was hot. But Catwoman, she was a beautiful woman. But I liked her character. Her character was badass. Smart, aggressive.
What do you think of Bill Murray? Come on. It was a Bill Murray cameo.
He was good. He's always good. Bill Murray's just great. A great actor. I liked it. He played, like sleazy guy, and I liked how they blew the thing up, the little thing he likes to eat, and they blew it up and it was eating him. I liked that part. I thought it was cool.
Here's my 2 issues. I like the movie. I have a very low bar. I think that will be established throughout this podcast. If it's a comic book movie, I'm in. I'll see it.
That was established on the quiz you took yesterday.
Yes. First of all, it's really the microverse for all the comic nerds. They had to rename it quantum, whatever.
And all the nerds hate it.
My big issue is that Kang lost. Like, he's going to be like the big bad of this phase of the Marvel thing.
And he wasn't just Kang. He was the baddest Kang.
Yeah.
He was the conqueror.
He was the Kang that all the other Kangs were so afraid of that they stranded him in this little quantum verse.
No. What was it? Microverse?
It's supposed to be the microverse, but don't get me started.
Microverse.
And I'm like, if all these people are going to start defeating Kang, like if Ant-Man can defeat Kang,
well, it wasn't
then
just
how is he going to beat the Avengers?
I know, I agree. That was something that I thought of in my head. I'm like, this, because when he goes out, he starts going boom, boom, because it's the thing I like about Jonathan Majors. I don't know if he's going to end up being Kang in the future because of all
that's a whole other podcast
stuff. But him playing that character, he is awesome.
Yes, he was.
I'm
menacing.
like sitting there going, when he goes down there and just starts fucking people up, and he's like going shooting shit out. He's just like doing it so aggressive. It was awesome. I loved it. He
again, for Matt, who's only listening to this podcast, Casey was just shooting lasers out of his hands.
I was Iron Manning it, where like he starts shooting these energy bullets, just like disintegrating people into dust.
I would have kept the movie the exact the same, except I would have had Kang win at the end and get out of the microverse.
The microverse.
Whatever. I would have called it the microverse, but Kang would have defeated Ant-Man and the family and got out. And then you're like, now you have the big bad for the phase of this Marvel.
But they didn't want to do that. They want to make all the other Kings
No,
like
that's the
lesser.
problem.
Like now they're all gonna just come after everything.
Well,
There's nobody stopping them now. There's no fear of anyone, so they think that they can go out. But what they say, if they can defeat him, we got to take these guys more seriously.
Well, I mean, he's Ant-Man, okay? He's like the weakest Avenger. He's Ant-Man.
But it wasn't just Ant-Man.
I really
Ant-Man,
thought...
Wasp, his daughter.
Still.
In the comic books, what do they call his daughter dressed up? Cassie dressed up like that. Her suit. Is she the mini ant?
I don't know. I don't even know if they have Cassie. I haven't...
He has a daughter, though, in the comics, if I remember right.
Yeah,
it's been a long time since I read anything about Ant-Man, but
they're so far from what the comics were.
Okay.
They should have really... I really thought that Paul Rudd was going to lose. I thought that he was going to die. I thought this is a good way for him to go out. When he said, I don't have to win, I just have to make sure you lose. I'm like, that's it.
So you're thinking they should have left him in the quantum realm?
He should have died thinking he saved...
Well, they didn't have to kill him. They could have left him in the quantum realm.
And then Kang could have been like, "I'm free now. Now I'm gonna get revenge on all the other Kangs who stranded me here. I'm gonna find this Earth that Ant-Man came from, and I'm gonna wipe them out." Because he said that he killed the Avengers before. I'm like, "Ooh, this guy killed the Avengers. Ant-Man's got nothing." Yeah. I'm like, how could you kill the Avengers and not kill Ant-Man? I'm like, come on. I thought he was set up to be the perfect Thanos.
But remember though, he wasn't at full power when he was down there.
Still, he's Ant-Man.
He didn't have all of his normal power and weapons.
He lost to a bunch of ants.
Well, a bunch of badass, super intelligent ants.
Still.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying though. There wasn't just Ant-Man. It wasn't just him. It was the original Ant-Man.
I wish
the original Wasp.
Mom, you need to comment on this video and
let him know. The people in the quantum realm that were fighting back, and the ants.
Still, this was Kang who took out the Avengers.
There was multiple waves coming at Kang to take him down. It took multiple things. But yes, I'm not even disagreeing with you.
Yeah,
I think they should have killed Paul Rudd.
Yeah,
and then.
And then Ant-Man. And then
they could have his picture on all the walls like they do
Yes!
Iron Man. And look at Ant-Man.
And then Cassie could have been like, I'm going to fight you for my father. You killed my father, you son of a bitch. And then she could have taken on the Ant-Man mantle. All right. And then when Kang comes up to the regular universe, this Marvel 616 universe, she could have been like, going to all the other Avengers and be like, this guy is dangerous. He killed my dad. Are you in? She could have gone to Thor.
And they could have done the classic line.
Yeah.
You killed my father.
See, now you die. Yes, you're bringing it back. You made my point for me. All right.
That could have been cool, but they did it. So now we got Paul Rudd still in the Avengers. And Wasp. And all of them survived. Spoilers!
You might be the last person to watch it. So
no, my son didn't even watch. I know a lot of people don't watch it, and you know why? Because everybody talked about it. I thought it was a good movie. It was entertaining. I laughed.
Yeah,
I thought it was good. King was badass. I liked the whole thing. Her keeping secrets from the family. I thought it was a good movie.
Yep.
And so now I can go watch Guardians of the Galaxy, and I'm all caught up. I still haven't watched Shazam.
All right, so
probably the same thing. I'm probably gonna like it too.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll like it as much as Ant-Man, but I'm probably gonna like it too. But everybody said such horrible. I got to not listen to these critics and all these comic book nerds. Now the Star Wars nerds you got to listen to a little bit because this is a real serious thing. Like Kathleen Kennedy is like,
here we go. It can't be. No, I'm just saying
when they go the microverse opposed to Quantum Mania, that's like a small change. That's not like altering the course of things. They're making small changes in Marvel. They try to stay true to the material, source material, but they also got to make entertaining movies too. So they're not destroying the comic books.
I agree.
I mean, look at what they did. They brought one of the low-level comic books into now a trilogy that's wrapping up this weekend. It starts. That is a low-level comic book,
So your homework is to watch Guardians before our next podcast, so we can review.
I might watch it this weekend. I don't know. It depends on what mood I'm in. If I feel like leaving the house, I may just
leave the house, you recluse.
Yeah.
All right, we need to wrap this up. So any last work? Where can they find you so I can put the little lower graphic of your website?
You should put that on every episode.
making me work. All right, so let's
So
say it.
the graphic is down here will be rosevillesc.com. You can contact me through there. It has my phone number. You can email me. You can watch some videos on there. And
Visit our socials because we're going to start.
And if you really want to go work out on your own or you want to work out at home.
Not the Venmo.
Vimeo. Not Venmo, Vimeo.
Whatever.
I have an intro to the beginner workout program.
All right, I'll put that in there.
And it's a great way to get started in a workout program. You're going to do some cardio. You're going to do some stretching. And you're going to do some weight training. What did we talk about? Wrapped it all up in the end in the beginner workout program.
You should have a discount if they type in like fucking Brad.
I'll give you $10 off anybody who
comments on the video.
Who direct messages me and says they want to do, like on my website, send me a message, say I want to do your beginner workout program. I'll give it to you for $10 off.
You heard that. All right.
All right, that's it. You guys have a great weekend, and we will see you next week.